Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, a visiting team's house of horrors for years, as another sold-out crowd hopes to push their Chiefs over 500 for the first time this year. Fox NFL Sunday presents Week 8. The Seattle Seahawks contend with the home-standing Kansas City Chiefs. And welcome to Arrowhead alongside J.C. Pearson, Matt Vasgersian. Perhaps no matchup in the NFL this week better illustrates the need for quarterbacking depth than this one. Not one, but two backups at it today. Let's start, JC, by talking about the situation here in Kansas City with Damon Huard.
Well, I think Damon Huard has surprised everyone, maybe even himself, with how well he's been able to play since taking over for Trent Green. He's done a great job of taking care of the football. Only one interception all year long. But the question today is, how long can he play? He injured that left groin in practice, didn't practice Thursday or Friday. He came out and warmed up today and didn't look good. A real sore, very painful for him, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the rookie Brody Croyle in there. What that means to me is they're going to give the ball to Larry Johnson a lot today.
Now, Seattle's offense is also in a state of flux. Changes on the line. No Bobby Ingram today, no Shaun Alexander again, no Matt Hasselbeck today, and that means that Seneca Wallace will make his first NFL start here this afternoon.
And you have to think that Seneca Wallace is going to be nervous, have the jitters today, especially in front of this crowd. What they've got to do is get him settled down, get him comfortable and in a rhythm as quickly as possible. And what Seneca Wallace has to do is use all of his talents and abilities today. He knows this offense. He can throw the ball very well, but he has to use his legs. That's something that Coach Holmgren has encouraged him to do this week. The Seattle rushing game hasn't been very good all year. If Seneca can make some plays with his legs, it'll make it a lot easier when it comes time to throw the ball.
Rivals from the old AFC West. The Kansas City Chiefs have dominated the series here with Seattle, as Seattle makes their first appearance at Arrowhead as an NFC team this afternoon. Will it be a trick or treat in Kansas City? We'll kick it off right after this.
Due to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Hey, it's me, Mark.
An absolutely gorgeous fall afternoon in Kansas City for football. 76 degrees and sunny at kickoff time. And before we kick it off, let's send it down to the third member of our broadcast crew, Jake Glazer.
All right, thanks, man. As JC was talking about in the open, Damon Huard will start today. I was standing on the pregame field with Damon when he was trying to work out that groin. His first maybe 6-7 dropbacks, you could really see him having a hard time, having a problem, losing his footing a little bit, but then he started loosening up. When he finally hit maybe his 13th, 14th pass, walked over and he said, I'm good to go, I'm going to go, but I feel like garbage. I said, exactly what is the problem? He said, whenever I drop back and plant and try and take that first step forward, that's when I'm really feeling some pain. I took an injection in the back. Hopefully that will help him. I talked to head coach Edwards about it. He said, look, we're going to go with him as long as we can, but if I see him struggling and he's having some problems with his throws, I won't hesitate to go to the youngster. Back to you guys.
And you know, Matt, not only when he drops back to throw the ball is that groin going to be a factor, but he's got to step back to hand the ball off to Larry Johnson. So every time he pushes off that left groin, it's going to be painful for him.
Well, we will see Damon Huard sooner rather than later, as the Chiefs have won the toss. They elect to receive. Dante Hall starts the return from the Kansas City end zone, up the middle of the field, across the 30, across the 40 to midfield. And the Chiefs will take over with fantastic field position to start the afternoon. There is a flag on the play, however. A 50-yard return may be coming
During
back.
the return, holding. Number 49, receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
We hear from Pete Morelli for the first time this afternoon, certainly to the chagrin of the home crowd here in Kansas City. So let's take a look at Damon Huard, and certainly everybody hopeful here that that 8-3 career record as a starter holds up, as the groin holds up here today.
And it's that left groin, Matt, so when he drops, he's got to push off of that left foot. Since he's a right-handed quarterback, you can see how heavily wrapped that left groin is. But that's where the pain is going to come. Every time he drops back, he's got to push off and get depth with that left foot.
Eddie Kennison split the top of your screen. Sammy Parker down low with the tight end Tony Gonzalez in motion. First play is a handoff to Larry Johnson, who scrambles for a couple of yards. Let's meet the Chiefs offensive line. 11-time Pro Bowler Will Shields makes his 214th consecutive start today. Only Brett Favre has started more consecutive games among active players. The Kansas City backs and receivers, Larry Johnson, an all-purpose superstar, leading the AFC, averaging 132 yards per game from scrimmage. And Kansas City is a decisive 9-0 at home when Larry Johnson runs for 100 or more.
And this is what we're going to see a lot more today. Heward in the shotgun, take pressure off of that groin.
On 2nd and 7 swings it to Larry Johnson, who can't hang on. So Johnson had some room to perhaps turn that little pass into something, so it'll bring up a 3rd and 7 here. The Seattle defensive front, the St. Louis combination, Wistrom and Fisher start on the ends. And there's a change in the middle as well. Chuck Darby starts for Marcus Tubbs inside. The Seahawks linebacking core, Mike Holmgren calls this the best group he's ever had. And in the secondary, the Seahawks had started the same unit all year until today. Jordan Babbitt gets the start of a Michael Fulware at strong safety. 3rd and 7 now for Heward over the middle, and it's caught a first down. Who else? Tony Gonzalez, the 7-time Pro Bowler, still not down on the ground. And a flag. And a personal foul.
And I'll tell you what, Matt, Damon Heward looked pretty good in that 7-step drop that time. He was able to get depth and get back quickly, just like his normal self.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 26, defense. Pulling the player down clearly after the whistle. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Now, as I was saying about Damon Heward, watch his drop. He's able to get back quickly, get the depth that he needs to buy some time to read the coverage, and then he just delivers the ball. He's able to step into it. And here at the end of the play, Ken Hamlin right here, you just have to be smart. You come out, you're aggressive, you're hyped up, you're intense, but you've got to be smart on the road. You can't afford to give up those kind of penalties.
2 tight ends set now for Heward and the Chiefs as Jason Dunn checks in. Gonzalez, a man in motion once again on first and 10 from the 41. Play action. Heward looking down the middle of the field. Another wide open target. And this pass is caught by Eddie Kinnison. Finding the right spot in that zone so far has been Damon Heward. And this is a big development. We didn't know if Damon Heward was going to even play an hour ago.
Exactly. And the last 2 drops have been very good drops. The play action pass that time. And what they're doing on this play action, all he and Eddie Kinnison, the wide receiver, are doing is reading the safety. If that safety's deep, Eddie Kinnison just curls right up and catches the ball. As you can see, Damon has no problem right there stepping into the throw.
Chris Wilson in the backfield now with Larry Johnson on 1st and 10. The hand to Johnson. Room up the middle again across the 20-yard line. Well, so far, this is exactly as Herm Edwards wanted to start the afternoon offensively, JC.
And the way the Chiefs have to play offense is be balanced. We saw them come out and throwing the ball, but they've got to get their running game going. That's when they're at their very best. Last week, Larry Johnson had over 100 yards rushing. Tony Gonzalez had over 100 yards receiving, and they were able to beat the San Diego Chargers. That's the way this team needs to play offense.
A gain of 5 on the hand by Larry Johnson. In the backfield with Wilson again. Play fake to Johnson. And that one should have been picked off. It was intended for Sammy Parker, who made his break rather late, and Kelly Herndon had what looked like a pretty easy chance to intercept.
And for Seattle, they have to make those kind of plays, because the problem that they've had defensively all year is giving up the big plays. And that's what killed them last week. They gave up a 95-yard run to Chester Taylor, the Minnesota Vikings, last week. They gave up a 40-yard touchdown pass, and it's happened too much this entire season. They can't afford today to give up any big plays to the Chiefs.
So it brings up 3rd and 5 now. Hall in motion before the snap. Heward looking his way into the corner of the end zone. In and out of the hands of Dante Hall. Well, they took their shot on 3rd and 5, and that's going to bring the Kansas City field goal unit onto the field.
When they bring Dante Hall on the field, they're normally trying to get him the football. You see him coming in motion. He's going to run this out, and then he's just going to try to run right by the safety. They try to get a mismatch right there, but they had Kelly Jennings on him moves a corner. That's a good defensive adjustment by the Seahawks.
Lawrence Tynes hit a 53-yarder to win it last week here against San Diego. This for 38. And for the early lead. Only Arizona has scored more first quarter points than the Chiefs. They lead it early today. 3-0 Kansas City on a 38-yard field goal. The Chiefs have the lead in front of their home faithful early first quarter this afternoon on, I guess you could call this Halloween weekend, right?
Yeah, definitely. Halloween is on Tuesday, so this would be the weekend before Halloween.
Josh Scobie back to return the kick. As that sea of red makes its way into the contest. A great home crowd here in Kansas City, rather. Both of these teams are spoiled playing in front of great home crowds. Certainly the case in the Pacific Northwest as well. Here's Scobie from the 4. Across the 10, breaking a tackle and tackled at the 15-yard line. Boomer Grigsby making the stop on special teams. The Seattle offense makes its way onto the field for the first time today. It was the big story in the Pacific Northwest all week long. Seneca Wallace in his 4th season with the Seahawks making his first NFL start this afternoon. A 3-receiver set for him as he starts with it on the ground for Maurice Morris to little or no gain. Seattle's offensive line in front of him. Mike Holmgren told us yesterday too many protection problems. Ex-Patriot Tom Ashworth makes his first start as a Seahawk in place of Shaun Locklear, who serves a 1-game NFL suspension today. Backs and receivers, so much talk about what's missing. How about what's returned? Tight end Jeremy Stevens back last week. He should help Seneca Wallace get settled in this afternoon. On 2nd and 9, Wallace to pass. Nobody picked up the blitz, but the pass is complete to Darrell Jackson. The Chiefs' defensive front, Jared Allen, is the only returning starter from last season's line. He had a huge game last week up in Phillip Rivers' face all day long. The KC linebacking core, second-year man Derek Johnson, played against Seneca Wallace as a Texas Longhorn. He starts outside with Mitchell and Bell. And in the defensive backfield, a veteran group, 147 career picks between them, the highest total of any starting secondary in the league. After the first down catch, a hand to Morris with some running room across the 30.
What Seattle's been able to do today is they've come out with 3 wide receivers, spread this defense out, but what they've got to do is Seneca Wallace has to use his legs today, and he's got to make some runs, open up this offense. They haven't been able to run the ball out of their conventional base offense, only averaging 85 yards a game with Maurice Morris. Seneca Wallace has to add to that total today.
2nd and 4 after the gain of 6 by Morris. Wallace out to pass over the middle, and that ball is caught. We told you Jeremy Stevens was going to be a big help in getting Seneca Wallace settled in. That one good for a first down for Seattle.
And they're glad to have Jeremy Stevens back because he's a big target. He's 6'7", and he can run. So he can stretch the middle of the field, and he can work behind those linebackers when those guys are blitzing. Kansas City brings a lot of pressure. Now they've got to be a little more careful.
Second first down of the drive. Looked like motion on the line, and indeed a flag on the play.
False start, number 71 offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
They get the Pro Bowler Walter Jones. You know, defensively, what does Kansas City look for today? You know Seneca Wallace is going to try to use his skills, meaning run the football a little bit. Does that change the way they approach this game?
Well, they've got to remain aggressive. They blitzed 47% of the snaps last week, but they've got to be very smart. Gunther wanted that percentage to be up around 55%. They're going to bring pressure. They've got to be smart about it, though, and not let a guy like Seneca Wallace break contain.
More movement on the left side of the line.
False start, number 86, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And you see that's 2 false start penalties in a row, and the crowd here at Arrowhead gets so loud that it's hard to hear the cadence. And that's something that we talked to them about, and they weren't too concerned about it, but obviously they should have been, because coming out in this first drive, they've got 2 false start penalties in a row.
This is not a typical Seattle Seahawks start to the afternoon. Since Mike Holmgren took over in 1999, only the Jets have been penalized fewer times than the Seahawks. On the play fake, Wallace up top for the deep ball, and he overthrows Darrell Jackson.
The pass is incomplete. It was intended for Darrell Jackson.
All right, be honest with me now. Has Seneca Wallace thrown the ball more than you thought he would in the first handful of series or plays run today?
Oh, not only today, but in the whole time that he's played as a quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. You would think with his athleticism, with his feet and his legs, he's more of a runner. He's only run the ball 1 time all year. That's why they've encouraged him today to pull the ball down. Go through your reads. If it's not there, pull it down and make something happen.
2nd and 20 now. Branch and Jackson split wide for the Seahawks. And the play clock just about winds down. Wallace apparently got it off, but the pass is incomplete, intended for Deion Branch. Let's check in on the field with Jay Glazer.
Well, guys, if you want to know a little scouting report on Seneca Wallace, the guy you should probably ask is Matt Hasselbeck. Right before the game, I got a call from Matt, who, by the way, Matt, we all wish you luck in coming back here in the next couple of weeks. And he said, here's the thing about Seneca. I know you all think he's a running quarterback. He is not. He is more of a pocket passer. He's a better arm than you think. Now, with that said, the coaches did tell him, hey, because you have the ability to run, use those legs a little bit more this week. Back to you guys.
Lenny Walls comes in on the nickel package on 3rd and 20. A loud Arrowhead crowd and a wide open target for Wallace. Very close to a first down as Deion Branch makes the catch near midfield.
You know, that was a good job by Seneca Wallace of not running the ball, buying some time, good protection up front, no pressure in his face, but instead of pulling the ball down when that clock goes off, he just slides, tries to find the guy downfield, and Deion Branch just curls up right in front of the safety, Greg Wesley, and it's an easy throw for Seneca Wallace.
On 4th and 1, Seattle's going to go for it. They have converted 1 of 2 4th down attempts this season. Max Strong, the lone back with Wallace, and he takes time. Something to think about on 4th and 1. Seattle driving, and we'll be right back.
Sponsored by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world. By Singular, raising the bar. By Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way. And by Visa. Go on, live life, and remember that no matter what it takes, life takes Visa.
Well, Seneca Wallace took time out on 4th and 1, and it was enough for the Seahawks to think about it and bring the punting unit into the game. Rookie punter Ryan Plakemeyer punting away and into the end zone. At the goal line. We'll be back. Two former AFC West rivals. Do you remember almost 16 years ago, November 11th, 1990, Derek Thomas had an unbelievable afternoon, an NFL record, 7 sacks, and until this play, it was all Derek Thomas, and that's all people talked about. And I know somebody who was on the field for this afternoon.
Yeah, I had a good view of this play right at the end. There's me right there at the end. This was a Hail Mary, last play of the game, and DT had him right in his grasp. And then all of a sudden I see the ball in the air. Thank goodness it was not on my side, but they caught it. Paul Scanzi catches the Hail Mary, and they beat us by a point.
Second offensive possession of the afternoon for Damon Huard and the Chiefs. And after a 45-yard punt that went out of bounds at the 5, Kansas City backed up deep into their own territory to start this drive. Larry Johnson struggling just to get back to the goal line. Let me ask you, this matchup for you, played your college ball in Washington. Played in the NFL here. You should have some insights to this, but what are you feeling emotionally here? Are you pulled at any point?
Oh, well, you know, I've got to be right down the middle in this game.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know, obviously I played for the Chiefs, got a lot of ties in Seattle, a lot of friends there, went to the University of Washington, but it's all business today, man. You and I, we got to do our thing today.
I understand. Well, there's a guy quarterbacking for the Chiefs that certainly has a Seattle story. Damon Huard, a Washington native, as he hands to Larry Johnson again around the corner, and good for a Kansas City first down.
That play right there is one of the staples for the Kansas City Chiefs. They run, watch the draw, just going to come back. Damon Hewitt is going to fake a throw and then just run the draw to Larry Johnson. Then look at Tony Gonzalez, number 88, down the field, blocking. Watch 88, Tony Gonzalez. Good job of blocking at the point of attack, getting some push there on Leroy Hill and allowing Larry Johnson to get up the field.
Gain of 12 for Johnson. They'll go at him again, and again, not much happening here. We were talking about Damon Hewitt, and there are a lot of people watching this one up in the state of Washington who are a little bit torn, I would imagine. You got a Yakima native, Puyallup High School to the University of Washington, where he had a great career, still holds a number of passing records there, and Damon Hewitt making a start here this afternoon against a team he grew up rooting for.
He said he had the Seahawk bicycle, the Seahawk pajamas, and, you know, he named all the old Seahawks players, and, you know, really wanted at one point to work in the front office for him.
To the air, and Hewitt's pass is incomplete. Eddie Kennison was well covered. Fans here hoping for some kind of interference call. Good coverage on the play by Ken Hamlin. Marcus Trufant. Trufant had coverage for Seattle.
And they're going to test Trufant down the field. Eddie Kennison is going to come in motion. They're going to fake the quick screen to Dante Hall and then try to run Eddie Kennison on the go route. Marcus Trufant in good position there. And that's one thing that they've talked about all season long, but in particular this past week, is not giving up the play over the top. The secondary guys, they made a change and put Babineau in there, but they've really focused on not giving up the big play over the top.
Seattle ranks 25th against the pass.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
Too much time taken off the clock by Hewitt in the offense, and that'll back them up farther still. Five early penalties in this game thus far, and certainly the home crowd in Kansas City has played a role in that. Triple receiver set for Hewitt and the Chiefs on 3rd and 16. With pressure coming, and the ball is free. They'll unpile the mess, and Seattle has recovered.
Russell Davis with the recovery.
Russell Davis made the recovery for the Seahawks.
Jordan Black is the guy that's going to get beat, the left tackle. Julian Peterson, number 59, comes up. He beats two guys. Larry Johnson doesn't stay with them. He comes back under Jordan Black and is able to strip Damon Hewitt of the ball. They've got two guys on Julian Peterson. Jordan Black has got to stay to the inside. If you've got help with the running back on your outside, you've got to stay strong with that inside arm. Who let Julian Peterson come back under.
Julian Peterson has been an absolute animal the last couple of weeks. 2 sacks in back-to-back games. Inside the 10 is where Wallace starts the possession, looking to pass on the play fake. He gets away from one tackler and now uses the skills and shovels it incomplete. I guess you could say it was intended for Jeremy Stevens.
Well, he used his skills, but I don't know if he made the best decision there. You got to be careful there. You know, he's still a young quarterback, and he's a playmaker. You know, last year he played some at the wide receiver position, and now he's getting a start at quarterback. He saw Jeremy Stevens late and just kind of flipped the ball to him. The problem with that is that your guys aren't ready for that.
Second and goal from the 8. The draw play, nothing doing. Jared Allen there to snuff it out for Kansas City.
You've got to block Jared Allen if you're going to block anybody up front. Jared Allen's going to come right off the edge unblocked, and he's just going to run this play down. The guy that runs very well, you can see right there, Walter Jones just turned him loose, went and blocked the linebacker. Jared Allen, with all that speed, he'll make that play every time.
The Chiefs bring the nickel package onto the field as Max Strong and DJ Hackett check in for Seattle. 3rd and goal from the 8. On the play fake again, Wallace with time, touchdown, Seattle. DJ Hackett, his first touchdown reception of the season.
The linebackers for Kansas City just too quick that time. They're thinking run, and they bite all on that play action fake inside on the run, and it opens up the middle of the field. DJ Hackett just sneaks right behind him for a touchdown.
An unusually quiet crowd here at Arrowhead thinking the same thing. Wait a minute, this is a backup QB that's never made an NFL start. And Seattle's about to take a lead. The PAT is good. Makes your job a little easier when you start the possession inside the red zone, but credit Seneca Wallace with a TD this afternoon. Seneca Wallace throws his second career touchdown pass, and he's got the fatherly hand on the shoulder on the sideline. An 8-yard TD reception puts Seattle in front.
And it was a good play. Look how open the middle of the field is, and on the play action fake, the middle linebacker Kuika Mitchell gets caught right there just for a second, allows DJ Hackett to sneak in behind him. Seneca Wallace just throws the ball right over him for a touchdown. See Sammy Knight, number 29. Also, they're playing that cover 2 coverage, so that he's expecting that inside backer to drop deep enough to stop that throw over the middle.
You know, it's easy for us to talk about this after he threw a touchdown pass, but, you know, yesterday Mike Holmgren told us Seneca Wallace is a much better quarterback than people give him credit for. He's not just a guy that's going to run around and not just an option guy from college.
No question. And Mike Holmgren has a long history of developing quarterbacks and working with quarterbacks. And that's one thing that the Chiefs knew. Herman Edwards said Mike Holmgren would not have kept him as his number 2 quarterback if the guy was not a pure quarterback.
Dante Hall takes the kick at the 5-yard line, looking to turn a corner, now changing direction up the middle of the field and tackled at the 26-yard line. Let's check in this afternoon for the first time with Chris Rose. What's happening? Chris, thanks. A little uglier out there than it is here in Kansas City. 76 degrees when we kicked it off a little while ago. So take a look at the standings from the NFC East. We're closer in the middle than some people thought, but Dallas really having their hands full these days. Larry Johnson makes the carry. You know, Dallas's situation, I think, really personifies what's happening in the league these days. Week 7 was a brutal week for quarterbacks. We're here in Kansas City with 2 backups taking the spotlight, and this is happening all over the league right now.
And I think, Matt, it's because defenses are being more aggressive right now with the calls outside, the illegal contact, that kind of stuff. You got to get to the quarterback a lot faster, so teams are blitzing. Their objectives now is to hit the quarterback.
2nd and 6, Larry Johnson again with the delay and a first down, and there he goes. Caught from behind. Had Marcus Trufant not grabbed the heel, Larry Johnson was gone. 38 yards on the breakaway run.
And what a great block by Tony Gonzalez, number 88, that's going to come over, kick out on the linebacker Peterson, and then Larry Johnson has the patience to wait for that block and jump inside of Tony Gonzalez. Look at the patience. He just waits for it, and now there's a missed tackle downfield by Jordan Babineau. Remember, Jordan Babineau was mostly a corner. He's replacing Michael Boulware. Now run support is going to be an issue for Jordan Babineau.
Michael Bennett in the backfield now for Kansas City. He takes the flip and takes a shot from Lofa Tatupu.
You know, I really like Lofa Tatupu, and he's made such a difference on this Seattle defense. He came in last year as a rookie and started, and everybody was wondering, is he too small, is he too slow, and is he too everything not to play? All he did was come in and lead this defense, lead this team in tackles, and end up going to the Pro Bowl.
Michael Bennett still in the backfield with Heward now on 2nd and 12 after the loss. Heward in the air, and the pass is caught by Eddie Kennison. Another first down, Kansas City. A gain of 17.
Lofa Tatupu right here, the inside backer. Again, he's going to try to get depth. He's going to take those false steps right there on Tony Gonzalez, that crossing route. what that is designed to do is to pull him up and open up the inside behind him to Eddie Kennison. And that, we used to call that a chum route, like you throw bait out for a shark to come and then you hook them. That chum route brings those linebackers up so you can ball behind him.
On 1st and 10, Larry Johnson back in the game, trying to get around the right side, maybe a gain of a yard.
And I'll tell you, Larry Johnson, probably the best all-around running back in the league right now. He's a 4'3" guy. He's got deceptive speed, but he's a big guy. He's got a lot of power. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, but the biggest thing to me is his mentality. He runs with the chip on his shoulder. He runs angry, and early in the game, he's looking for contact. He wants to pound those linebackers so that later in the game, they don't want to hit him anymore.
Sammy Parker in motion, the delayed draw to Larry Johnson again. Nobody dragging him down, and he breaks it inside the 5. Ken Hamlin making far too many tackles on running plays for Seattle's taste with Larry Johnson as the ball carrier here.
Again, the running game has been an issue for the Seahawks. In the 2 games they've lost to the Bears, they gave up 143 yards, and last week in Minnesota they gave up 160, 170 yards, 95 of those on 1 play. So for them, the key for them to win this ball game is to stop the run, and they're not doing it right now.
9 carries for 70 yards for Johnson, trying to add a touchdown to that number as he stopped at the 3-yard line. You know, let's face it, part of the success that Larry Johnson has enjoyed here as well is due to the very much improved dynamic he has with Herm Edwards. This was not a good situation, as Chiefs fans well know, with the previous administration here.
Well, and it's very public, and with him and Herman, it's more than a football thing. He said he's really opened up to Herm, and that relationship is formed because Herm really cares about him. He came to him, asked him about his family and off-the-field issues, and Larry really wants to produce for Herman Edwards.
And he produces over the top for a Kansas City touchdown. The 3-yard high jump reclaims the lead for the homestanding Chiefs. Ten carries, 77 yards, and a TD for the man they call LJ. And the Tines PAT is good. Larry Johnson sets up his own touchdown score by breaking off a long one right up the middle of the field.
Then on the touchdown, just right up the middle, obviously behind the strength of the line, Casey Wigman, Will Shields, Brian Waters just jumped right over those guys inside and into the end zone.
8 plays, 74 yards, and all Larry Johnson here in the first quarter.
And that was a big drive because Seattle had gone down and scored the touchdown, taking the lead, and this crowd had gotten real quiet, as you mentioned, Matt. So now they come back, they put a long drive together, take the lead back, and now this crowd is going to be right back into this game.
Well, it sure makes it easier on a quarterback with a chirpy groin when he can hand the ball off to number 27 and not worry about those 7-step drops we talked about earlier.
That's exactly right. And then what it's also going to do is set up the play-action game for him, and that's really the way Kansas City likes to throw the ball, is by using the play-action. Run Larry Johnson, then when everybody's thinking Larry Johnson, now you pull that ball out of there and look for Tony Gonzalez down the field.
Well, a couple of backup quarterbacks authoring scoring drives this afternoon in Kansas City. And already more first quarter points in this one than many of the experts predicted, as Josh Scobie takes the kick at the 7-yard line, up the middle of the field and tackled at the 30. After football today, hold tight. It's the Professional Bull Riders Series as the world's toughest cowboys put it all on the line in the Professional Bull Riders World Finals right here on Fox. Don't miss all the action right after football, only on Fox.
That's some exciting stuff. Have you ever ridden a bull?
Look at me. Seriously. We've been together now, what, 8 weeks? You think I've ever been on a bull? not even of the mechanical variety, my friend. 1st and 10 from the 30. And perhaps what may be the final play of the first quarter. The pass complete to Darrell Jackson for a gain of 5. The clock will roll into the first quarter break. And again, already more scoring than many expected. That's the end of the first quarter. Chiefs on top of Seattle 10-7. Fox NFL Sunday returns after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Start of the second quarter, Kansas City with a 10-7 lead as we begin quarter number 2. Seneca Wallace continuing to lead the offense. The hand to Maurice Morris for a gain of a few and close to a first down. We have a change on the offensive line here, JC, as Chris Sims has taken over, and this was a move that Mike Holmgren expected to make during the game today. Rob Sims taking over rather for Chris Spencer at that guard spot, and Coach Holmgren wanted to get a look at both guys here this afternoon.
Yeah, well, they've had some trouble at that left guard spot. It looked like that ball almost came out right there. It looked like a little mishap on the exchange there. But going back to Rob Sims at the left guard spot, they just want to take a look at him. Polchop Womack is the starter there, and he's been out. And Chris Spencer, their #1 draft pick last year, is really a center. They plugged him in at left guard, and now they want to see what Sims can do. Give him an opportunity in the game, see exactly what this kid can do before Polchop Womack comes back next week.
Strong and Morris in the backfield with Wallace. And the hand just shy of the 45. Let's send it to Chris Rose in a game break in Los Angeles. Like a lopsided matchup on paper, and the Bears are proving everybody right. 2nd and 7. 3 receivers set here for Seattle. Wallace back with a pocket, and he can't find the intended target, DJ Hackett. Let's take you to the field now and check in with Jay Glazer.
Hey guys, we were just talking about the little rotation they have at left guard. Well, don't think this affects the relationship of the two players. The two guys went out to dinner last night, talked about the game, but the one thing they don't know is who's playing in the third quarter. When I asked them, do you know what happens after, the first quarter and second quarter, they said, we have no idea. It's just up to Coach Holmgren. We have no clue what our status will be after the halftime break. Back to you.
Well, just because they went out to eat doesn't mean they're good friends. That's what offensive linemen, they eat all the time anyway. And they'll eat wherever with whomever. So that's a typical thing for them.
3rd and 7, empty backfield here with Wallace. Chiefs have the nickel package on the field with Lenny Walls. The handoff to Max Strong, and on 3rd and 7, that's going nowhere.
James Reed, a tremendous jump off the ball. Almost looked like he was offsides, but no flag on the play. James Reed gets off the ball inside and just creates havoc. Watch number 92. He's just going to jump. Looks like he jumps the snap right there. Gets a tremendous jump inside and creates that disruption inside, but no flags on the play.
Ryan Plackemire on to kick it away. A flag on the play as Dante Hall lets it bounce into the end zone.
Holding. Number 48 of the kicking team. 10-yard penalty will be added at the end of the touchback. First down.
Derek Rackley guilty of the hold. Back alongside J.C. Pearson, Matt Vasgersian from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, where a Seattle penalty on the punt gives Kansas City decent field position to start the drive. The swing pass complete to Larry Johnson. More all-purpose yards and another LJ first down. Julian Peterson made the tackle for Seattle after a gain of 17.
Great job of setting up the screen by the Chiefs. They're going to fake the reverse to Eddie Kennison, but also watch Chris Wilson, he's going to come down. He's going to pull Julian Peterson out in coverage right here. Now it opens up the outside for the screen. Now there's nobody out there. Chris Wilson blocking down the field now, but good job of pulling the coverage out of there.
Michael Bennett in the backfield now, giving Larry Johnson a puffer back to the line of scrimmage on that carry. Grant Wistrom made the tackle for Seattle. Well, you know, we've seen how diplomatically, JC, Herm Edwards and Mike Solari use Larry Johnson. Breaks off a big run, they get him out for a couple of plays. He's not on the field all game long. He's already had a whole lot of touches this year.
He sure has, and they've got to be very careful and conscious of the number of touches that Larry gets, because they can't afford for him to go down with an injury. So that's why they try to give him a blow from time to time.
Gonzalez in motion, Bennett in the backfield once again, and the pitch is to Michael Bennett, the former Pro Bowler, again stuck at the line of scrimmage. Well, it's been a dynamic that has sure worked here. Herm Edwards has brought out the best in Larry Johnson. The numbers speak to that.
No question, he's a big, strong guy like we talked about earlier, but you know, they've got to be careful with how they use him. Sometimes you can forget about the number of touches because he's been so productive, been so good. You think you want to give him the ball all the time. He's already had, coming into the game, over 150 total touches, you know, which equates to over 400 total touches during the season. That's a lot of touches.
A wide open target and a first down catch made by Tony Gonzalez. They have picked apart the middle of the field all afternoon, has the Kansas City passing game.
And that's where they're more effective, is inside, especially to Tony Gonzalez. Puts a great move on Julian Peterson that time, gets Julian Peterson turned all the way around, and there's nobody in the middle of the field. Just an easy throw for Damon Huard to make.
A 37-yard gain by the 7-time Pro Bowler. Rod Gardner checks in now on 1st and 10 for Kansas City. Wilson and Johnson in the backfield, and the hand is to Larry Johnson, met for no gain. You know, last week, Mike Solari and the offense successfully got Tony Gonzalez reintegrated into the scheme. He broke out for a big game against San Diego last weekend, and it appears they're on that same path again today.
And you know, Matt, part of that is the growth of the offensive coordinator, Mike Solari. He was the offensive line coach here last year, didn't coach quarterbacks or receivers, so he's still really learning the passing game also. It's taken him a few weeks, but now they're starting to open up the offense with the passing game.
Kansas City knocking on the door. They take time out. We'll be right back. Kansas City inside the red zone with 9:20 left in the half and a 3-point lead. 2nd and 9 after the timeout. The pitch is to Larry Johnson, patiently waiting for some blocking in front of him, and met for maybe a gain of a yard. Lofa Tatupu makes the tackle for Seattle.
The red zone is where Seattle's defense has struggled all year long. Coming into today, they've given up a touchdown 70% of the time that teams have been in the red zone, and that's the 2nd worst in the entire National Football League. When they get to the red zone, you've got to stiffen up, and you definitely don't want them to score, but if they do, you want to try to hold them to 3 points. This is the area where you've got to watch this guy, number 88 right here, Tony Gonzalez. That's when this is where he's really dangerous.
On 3rd down, Huard gimping around on the groin, and he's dropped. Rocky Bernard penetrated and dropped him, and that's going to bring on the field goal unit in Lawrence Tynes.
And that's what Seattle's got to do. They've got to be able to get up the field, get pressure on Huard. You're going to see the little twist inside. Then Rocky Bernard comes back off of that, and Damon Huard, with that injured left groin, can't really move. He's not a mobile guy anyway. Now Rocky Bernard runs him down, but that's what they've got to be able to do with a quarterback that can't move. You got to get after him, get pressure on him.
This will be a 32-yard attempt for Tynes. With his field goal today, he is 10 of 12. Make it 11 of 13 on the year. Kansas City adds on. 8:31 left in the half. Chiefs on top 13-7.
We see Larry Johnson there. He's been the man for Kansas City, already having a big day on the ground. 79 total yards already. You can see much faster and much quicker than people realize. He surprises people because he's such a big, strong guy that he can actually run. You can see, look at that leap. About 3 yards back, he just jumps over the pile, but already averaging over 6 yards a carry. Seattle can't stop him and stop this running game. It's going to be a tough day for him.
Also a 17-yard pass reception this afternoon. Almost half of that rushing yardage came on that one big 38-yarder that he broke off and ran to a TD score. So 13-7 Kansas City. And the kick return takes Seattle out to the 29-yard line. That's where Seneca Wallace and the offense will take over.
And Seneca's done a pretty good job so far. You see his numbers there, 5 of 9. He hasn't really created anything with his legs, and that's what he's got to bring to this offense. Some unconventional stuff, some creativity, because they're having such a tough time running the football, and he's a guy that can make some big plays. One thing Mike Holmgren said is that, you know, they're not going to put any really designed runs for him. They may motion him and get him outside the pocket, move the pocket, but when he drops back to throw and things break down, that's when they want him to improvise and create some things.
5 of 9 for 52 yards in the air thus far as Wallace on 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. There go the legs, and there goes Seneca Wallace. A flag on the play as Wallace runs for a first down. It holds up.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. You see the athleticism, and defenses can't prepare for that. And now you have to put a spy on him if you want to stop that, which takes a guy out of coverage. And where this flag is, it's probably going to be on Kansas City, either hold or illegal contact down the field.
Illegal contact. Number 24, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
They get the 5-time Pro Bowler Ty Law, who's masquerading in J.C. Pearson's number down there.
It is Halloween, isn't it? But again, this is what Seneca Wallace has to do more of. Go through his progressions. If it's not there, pull the ball down and run the ball. And that's a big play for him, especially on the run. Now when the defense has to start thinking and playing the run with Seneca Wallace, it's going to suck those linebackers up, and it's going to open up some passing lanes down the field.
From the 46, 1st and 10, Strong and Morris in the backfield with Seneca Wallace. He gets away from pressure and completes the pass to DJ Hackett, who's in the midst of a nice half on the road. And for more on Seneca Wallace, let's check in with Jay Glazer.
Guys, earlier in the game, I told you that I talked to Matt Hasselbeck before this game. And remember, Matt said that they told Seneca, hey, if you see something, take off. The other interesting thing was Hasselbeck told me that he told Seneca, look, you're going to have instances in this game where things aren't going to work out. You'll have bad plays. The key is you cannot let it get you down. Bad things will happen. Just regain your focus. Back to you guys.
The hand of Morris. Thanks, Jay. And certainly Seneca Wallace yesterday didn't seem like he was at all bothered by the situation. Let's check in now with Chris Rose with a game break from Los Angeles. And I love Chris Rose actually decided to go as Halloween as Howard Lederer this year on Tuesday, dressing up as a poker great to mix it up. It's a 2nd and 4. Wallace in the air. The pass is caught by Atula Muli. And Mealy makes the catch close to a first down.
And Seneca Wallace looks very good so far. And, you know, the thing with Seneca Wallace, he's not a rookie. Even though this is his first career start, he's not a rookie. He's been in this system for 4 years, so he knows this offense. He's played some in some games, in some loud stadiums. So he's, you know, this is all not new to him, and it's showing because he's got a lot of poise. He knows exactly what to do with the football and driving this offense very well right now.
3rd and short, maybe a yard. The Arrowhead crowd making noise, and the first down run by Maurice Morris.
Good job by Max Strong, just leading up in there and also running behind Rob Sims, that rookie left guard that they want to take a look at. Rob Sims is a guy, a very physical guy that is really coming off the ball.
You know, while Seattle's run offense isn't certainly what it is with Shaun Alexander healthy. They've been very good on short yardage plays like that, on third down in particular. 1st and 10 now. Wallace into the corner on single coverage. What a catch by Deion Branch.
Wow. Want to know why the guy was MVP of the Super Bowl one year? All you got to do is keep throwing the ball to him. And he said that he's feeling very comfortable in this offense now. And he felt that he was going to make some big plays today. And look at this catch. One-handed, just puts it up there and stabs that ball. He's got some great hands or some good gloves.
I don't know how he caught it or stayed in bounds. He beat the nickel corner Lenny Walls on a terrific play. 1st and goal now for Seattle. Morris the lone back, and Wallace will spend Seattle's second first-half timeout. Boy, it's worth taking another look at Deion Branch and his heroics last play.
Deion Branch, he was wanting man-to-man coverage. He knew that Kansas City blitzed a lot, and he said, hey, if we can pick up the blitz, we can make some plays down the field. He beats Lenny Walls on the go route, and man, that's one of the better catches you'll see all year long. Running down the field full speed, turns his body around, and catches the ball with one hand.
Well, you know, we talked to Deion Branch yesterday, and to the surprise of many of us, he said that this Seahawks team actually has more, quote, talent than the Super Bowl teams he played with in New England.
What he said is really it's just the chemistry. In New England, they had very good chemistry. Guys stepped in and they played well. And he said Seattle, that's all they need. And, you know, this Seattle team, I think people forget sometimes that this team went to the Super Bowl last year. So they were a very talented team to begin with. They just have to get healthy.
And there goes the challenge flag. But it looked like Herm Edwards had stuck it in his pocket, but just before the snap, a very animated throw. Take note, Nick Saban. That's how you throw a challenge flag.
And it looked like he was thinking about it, and then he changed his mind. I'm sure he was waiting for the guys upstairs.
They'll go under the hood. We'll be right back. Being challenged is a fantastic reception made by Deion Branch. Herm Edwards threw the challenge flag. You tell us.
And I think it's a good catch, because watch when he catches the ball, his right foot is going to left foot down, right foot down. That other left foot now comes back and looks like it's on the line, but I think he's already got 2 feet down before that. Look at that, right foot's down, left foot right. I think that's a catch.
Well, with 5:39 left in the half and Seattle on the move, Herm Edwards felt it worth his while to throw the red challenge flag.
And the question is, when you catch the ball with one hand, it's hard to determine if you actually have possession of that ball. And that's what I'm sure they're going to look at, is when he catches that ball with his right hand, that left foot is down, but they've got to determine if he actually had possession of that football, which it looked like to me he did.
I think everybody knows what's going to happen here. The problem has been changing out microphones for the officiating crew. Pete Morelli has swapped out a couple of different pieces of equipment here. You can see he's out from under the hood. We got to make sure the technology is working properly here.
And that's a good point you make there, because now with the new rule, they have 60 seconds to determine if they're going to overrule it or not. And you can see the challenge is there for Kansas City.
Herm Edwards has not lost one so far. Still ain't working.
Microphone is not working, but I can read his lips. He said the call on the field stands. It is a catch. Big play, Seattle Seahawks.
Well, Coach Edwards took a shot, loses his first challenge of the year. So the call does stand. And the drive still very much alive for Seattle. Strong and Morris in the backfield on 1st and goal from the 3. Morris for maybe a yard up to the 1. And a great stop by Tom Bahali.
Tom Bahali, the rookie, is going to do a good job of just coming down the line of scrimmage, bites off the chop block, and then uses his speed to come down the line of scrimmage. Tom Bahali has really been a big plus to this Chiefs defense. And when we talked to the Chiefs a couple of days ago, especially the defensive players, they all said number 91 has made a huge difference for them.
They love their Penn State guys here in Kansas City. Morris and Strong both in the backfield on play action. And a wide open target in the back of the end zone. Touchdown Seattle, Jeremy Stevens. The 2-yard touchdown toss by Seneca Wallace. And the Seattle Seahawks are a PAT away from going back on top.
And what happens in these goal line situations is you're going to see the linebacker that's responsible for him is Kendrell Bell. He runs up on the play action fake, runs right by Jeremy Stevens, and it's just an easy touchdown. When you're down in the goal line, you got to make sure you read your keys right, and he was wrong.
Well, so far, Seneca Wallace with the decision-making skills of a seasoned veteran on the road this afternoon. Seneca Wallace 5 for 5, 58 yards on a touchdown drive, his 2nd touchdown toss of the afternoon, and Seattle goes back on top.
And Seneca Wallace is playing very, very well. And Mike Holmgren, he thought that Seneca was going to play well. Of course, you never know with the guy making his first start, but he was really hoping that Seneca played well because he really likes him, not just as a football player, but just off the field, just as a person, as a kid. He said, I love the guy. He's a great kid, and I think he's going to do very well. And so far, he's doing more than very well. He's doing great.
Dante Hall back to return the kick. Starts the return in the end zone. Bringing it out to the 15-yard line. Turning a corner. Using those great wheels to get it past the 20 and to the 22. Let's check in with Jay Glazer.
Well, guys, not only is Seneca doing it physically out there, but also mentally, he seems to be making a lot of the right reads. And it's very interesting. I had a conversation with him last night at the team hotel, and he said one of the things that really helped me out in my progression was a couple of years ago, I went and I put myself through a class, kind of how to study again type of class, a little tutorial. He said, I sat there, I was the number 3 quarterback behind Hasselbeck and Trent Dilfer, really wasn't doing much. There's so much that goes into this offense, you almost have to re-study, reteach yourself how to study properly again, and that was huge for his development. Back to you guys.
Yeah, Jay, that had been reported throughout the Pacific Northwest, and folks up there as Larry Johnson takes it up the middle for a gain of 5. The folks up there had talked about Seneca Wallace and this course that he went through, and it was reported that there was a learning disability there, and we've learned that that's not exactly accurate.
Yeah, they just had to get in the books and learn how to learn, basically, and how to remember things. And it was just like Jay said, a tool to relearn how to do all those things because he hadn't had to do that very much.
But let's face it, who among us couldn't benefit from one of those courses? Gain of 6 on the handoff. 2nd and 4 now for Kansas City. Hall in motion on the play action. And it's a keeper for Johnson. But he's wrapped up quickly by a couple of Seattle defenders.
Again, Chuck Darby on the tackle that time. And that's, again, Kansas City's offense. They did it very well last week against the Chargers. They get in 3 wide receiver situations and they spread the defense out and get the defense thinking pass, 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 and then they fake the pass and run the draw to Larry Johnson, and there's natural running lanes there.
They're certainly not losing any experience with Darby, a Super Bowl guy from his Tampa Bay days, who again started for Marcus Tubbs at that left tackle spot this afternoon. On 3rd and 7 now. Not much of a pocket. Ewert gets it away, and a first down reception for Eddie Kinnison. A gain of 19 on the play, and a Rocky Bernard getting up very slowly for Seattle.
The offensive line doing a good job of protecting Damon Ewert, and Heward doing a good job with that injured groin of getting back, and then watch him even step up in the pocket right there, keep his eyes down the field before he takes a shot at just man-to-man coverage with Kelly Jennings down the field. Eddie Kennison runs that deep in route. Eddie Kennison, a guy back-to-back 1,000-yard receiver and kind of a quiet guy in terms of production. You don't think of Eddie Kennison as a back-to-back 1,000-yard receiver with so many stars, Larry Johnson, Tony Gonzalez on this team, but they've got to do a better job of getting him more involved. Last week in their win against San Diego, their entire wide receiver core only caught 4 passes. When you look at them on the season coming in today, the wide receivers only accounted for 46% of the receiving yards, and that was the lowest in the NFL.
Double tight end formation on for Kansas City. Larry Johnson patiently cutting back and filling holes up to midfield. A gain of 5 for Johnson.
They've done a much better in pass distribution today. You see the wide receivers have 3 catches, and Tony Gonzalez and Larry Johnson have 3, so they're very balanced, and that's what they've got to do, because if you don't do that and you take your own wide receivers out of the game, that allows the defense to double a guy like Tony Gonzalez. You've got to keep them guys honest by throwing it outside.
Parker and Kennison both at the top of your screen. The pass goes the other way and is batted down. Very close to being intercepted. My goodness. Right into the midst of Joe Tafoya.
Almost a big play. And, you know, we see this a lot throughout the league. Linemen knocking down balls at the line of scrimmage. Teams are trying to throw the ball quickly, and you can see he just fights off that chop block. Kevin Sampson, number 79, he's got to get him on the ground. You see him try to chop, but he just falls down instead of firing out at the legs of Joe Tafoya.
The Chiefs are 3 of 6 on 3rd down so far this afternoon. The pitch to Larry Johnson, and another first down run. Bryce Fisher made the tackle for Seattle. You know, Larry Johnson came into the game with 38 first downs to lead the AFC. Already 7 for him this afternoon, and that'll take us into the 2-minute warning here at Arrowhead. Chiefs on the move, passing midfield. 2-minute warning in the first half. Been a fun first half here at Arrowhead Stadium. Back with J.C. Pearson, Matt Vasgersian. Halloween weekend here on Fox. And that shot can only remind us that the pregame show guys will be in D.C. next weekend for the Cowboys and Redskins. Take us in next weekend here on Fox. A pass caught by Eddie Kennison down to the 25-yard line. A gain of 18 and another Kansas City first down.
Yeah, Damon Heward able to get back, get his depth, and get back quickly with that injured left groin. Able to step into that throw with no problem. And Eddie Kennison single coverage outside. This ball's already in the air, so that when he comes out of his break, gets his head around, all he's got to do is find that ball, and Trufant doesn't have time.
Heward back to pass on first down. That's Tony Gonzalez with a great catch, rolling out of bounds. A gain of 11.
Wow, gutsy throw right there too. That's called just giving your guy a chance to make a play down the field. Ken Hamlin is all over Tony Gonzalez in perfect position, but his head is not turned to the quarterback. He never sees the ball. Damon Heward just throws it right by his head.
Tony Gonzalez, the author of so many franchise receiving records here in Kansas City. On first and goal, Larry Johnson breaks a tackle, touchdown, Chiefs. LJ all day here at Arrowhead.
Sprinkle in some Damon Heward also. Some great throws by Damon Heward. Good job of being able to step into the throw and tolerate the pain of that groin. After the 2-minute warning, just 3 plays right down the field. Touchdown.
A 9-yard touchdown run by Larry Johnson, and PAT put the Chiefs back on top at home.
They just get single coverage. Tony Gonzalez is going to run a corner route, open up the middle of the field, and now Larry Johnson right there on Lofa Tatupu just catches the ball, runs right through that tackle, and there's nobody else between him and the end zone.
I'd say the groin's feeling better with every completed pass and every Larry Johnson run of better than 10 yards. Well, Tony Gonzalez is one touchdown pass away from owning the franchise touchdown receiving record, but today, so far in the first half, it's been all about Larry Johnson.
And look at that, 120 total yards, 94 yards rushing in the first half. That's big, and the Seattle defense has got to find an answer for Larry Johnson. They've got to shut something down and make this team one-dimensional. Either you stop the run and now you play the pass, or you stop the pass and make them have to only run the ball. But right now, they're not doing either. So Kansas City has their way and has the Seattle defense on its heels.
Seattle will get the ball with 45 seconds left in the half. Josh Scobie back to receive the kick. From the 3. And out to the 28-yard line. Coming up at half, it's the Visa halftime report. Kurt Menefee, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will be along with scores and highlights. The Fox Sports ticker will be clicking with all the latest stats and fantasy information.
That is wrong, but look at that. That's remarkable. That is remarkable. I know Kurt Menefee's got some moves of his own, too. And I'd like to see those guys in the dance-off back in the day.
You know, Fred Berry and Kurt Menefee, I ain't going to touch it. I'm not going close to that.
You just did.
Again, 40 seconds for Seattle's offense. Seneca Wallace has been impressive in the first half. We'll see if Seattle tries to move the football at all to try to get themselves into some kind of field goal setup here before halftime. Strong and Morris in the backfield in the eye. The hand is to Morris. It will tell us no. Just some numbers to chew on. Dating back to the 1995 season at home, when the Chiefs lead at halftime, they are a resounding 49-7.
Arrowhead is definitely a home field advantage for the Chiefs, and NFC teams that don't come in here very often. There's only 4 NFC teams that have won at Arrowhead since 1995. It's tough to come in here and win with this crowd and things of that nature.
This is going to wind down the first half. And that's how we'll get into the locker rooms at halftime. A lot more offense than many people expected with backup quarterbacks inserted in here in Week 8, but it's been a fun half of football to watch.
It sure has. Very exciting, and it's going to be interesting to see what types of adjustments each team has to make at halftime coming out, especially defensively. Seattle's got to do something defensively to try to take something away from Kansas City. That something being Larry Johnson, and then Kansas City defensively has got to try to figure out how to slow Seneca Wallace down. He's done a good job throwing the ball.
Seneca Wallace 9 for 13 with 2 touchdown passes. Larry Johnson has been the story on the other side for Kansas City. Seneca Wallace came out making his first NFL start this afternoon and threw a touchdown strike to DJ Hackett. Larry Johnson has had an all-purpose afternoon, scoring in the first quarter as well. This was a touchdown pass to Jeremy Stevens by Seneca Wallace, and just before half, Larry Johnson rambling through for 8 yards and another touchdown score. Tell me, who's impressed you more? I mean, we talk about Damon Huard not necessarily being at 100%. Seneca Wallace not with a lot of starting experience to tap into. I mean, everybody has really impressed here in this one.
They really have, and Larry Johnson, of course, that's expected of him. But like you said, Damon Huard being able to fight through the pain of that groin. But I think Seneca Wallace, the way that he's played this first half, no one really expected that, or they didn't know exactly what they were going to get. Good job by Wallace.
You know, and for the Seahawks coming into this game, knowing how they've struggled here in this facility, over the last 20 games that Seattle's played here, they've won only 2 of them. And for the Chiefs, that's the most decisive home field advantage for any team against any opponent in the NFL.
Well, it's tough. You know, Seattle comes in here and they're used to their 12th man in Seattle, which is a definite advantage. They come here to Arrowhead, and Kansas City definitely has a 12th man advantage here with the noise. But with that being said, doesn't seem like it's bothered the offense very much. Seneca Wallace, like we said, has done a good job of running it, getting into the end zone and in this game.
Halftime at Arrowhead with the Chiefs on top 20-14. Stay tuned for the Visa halftime report coming up after these messages in a city about ready. in the first half, but there was a running back on the field who really made quite a difference.
Yeah, the difference today so far in this first half has been Larry Johnson. 94 yards rushing, also a receiving touchdown, and that's something that Seattle doesn't have, is that running game. They're going to have to try to manufacture that, and I think Seneca Wallace, I'm sure they talked to him at halftime about trying to get out of the pocket more, create some more.
Seattle will get the ball for the second half, and Larry Johnson, to your point, JC, 120 all-purpose first half yards with a touchdown on the ground and a touchdown in the air. Again, we told you that number when we went on the air earlier. The Chiefs are 9-0 at home when Larry Johnson rushes for 100 or more yards. Second half is underway. Josh Scobie returns the kick from the 5 up across the 20 to the 25-yard line as we check in with Jay Glazer.
Well, guys, at halftime, Herm Edwards, head coach of the Chiefs, allowed me to come in and listen to his halftime speech inside the locker room. It was interesting. He had the offense on one side, defense on the other. He praised the offense and turned around to the defense. And guys, we all have been around Herm Edwards for a while. I have never seen this type of Herm Edwards, though. Herm absolutely lit into the defense, said, you're out there way too much. Got to get off the field. Got to get off on third down. You have to give the guys on the other side a better chance. As far as Mike Holmgren's concerned, he said, hey, I told my team this is going to come down to a field goal. Make sure you're the team that kicks it. Back to you.
Jay, thanks. First possession of the second half. This is Maurice Morris around the corner, and after a gain of a couple, finally tackled by Kavika Mitchell. A look at our first half stats, and again, both quarterbacks performed very well. When you take a look at turnovers, only one of them a Chiefs turnover early in the game, but that really was not an issue for both guys. The young quarterbacks making starts today.
Yeah, and Seattle obviously giving up way too many first half yards, 254 total yards for Kansas City offensively. They've got to cut that way down.
For the latest in fantasy stats, log on to foxsports.com. After a gain of 5, Wallace looking for a receiver, and the pass is batted down. Tried to get it to Deion Branch. Greg Wesley came flying in from free safety to bat it away.
Greg Wesley sitting back in zone coverage, just reads the route by Deion Branch and jumps it. But you got to be careful when you're that deep safety of jumping those curl routes, because now all of a sudden they give you a stop and go move and you're beat down the field. You got to be very careful there.
Nickel package in for Kansas City. Seattle 3 for 5 on third down in the first half today. Mitchell got picked up trying to blitz. Pressure, and the pass is complete, and a first down reception made by Jeremy Stevens.
Great job by Seneca Wallace, buying time with his feet, but also no panic whatsoever. He keeps his eyes down the field, but watch Jared Allen. He's the defensive end, their best pass rusher. He drops off in coverage. Watch who ends up making this tackle, but ends up out of position. As you see Seneca get outside right here. Jared Allen right there overruns the play and allows Jeremy Stevens to catch the ball.
7-yard first down pickup. The play fake to Morris, and the pass is incomplete to Darrell Jackson. You know, folks that watch the Seattle Seahawks play on a weekly basis might be able to pick up some differences in the way Seneca Wallace has run the offense today as compared to Matt Hasselbeck, certainly. But Mike Holmgren told us yesterday, you know, he has to allow Wallace the same type of protections, some of the same affordability in the playbook. Formations may be a little bit different, but Wallace has been in control today. Save an errant pass there to Maurice Morris. It'll bring up 3rd and 10. I guess the message there is you can't really cater your playbook too drastically to the backup quarterback when you're without a Pro Bowler.
No, you can't. And obviously Seneca Wallace is a quarterback, so he's not a guy that you have to change your entire playbook for when he comes into the game. Now, you do add a number of different things to play to his strengths and his ability, which is his mobility. So you want to move the pocket some with him. He's only run the ball one time, and that was a big run for him. He's got to get back to that and add some of that. Get all the red guys at the line of scrimmage.
And that's exactly why Seneca Wallace spends the first timeout here in the second half.
I don't think you're supposed to put coins in.
Business brisk here at the Pumpkin Patch in Kansas City. Arrowhead faithful loud on third down. All the Werewolves of London, the Werewolves of Kansas City out at Arrowhead today. Seneca Wallace gets out of danger, and Darrell Jackson can't hang on. Boy, Wallace really threaded the needle there, but that'll bring on the punting unit for the Seahawks.
And that's a ball that should be caught. When we talked to Deion Branch, we asked him the difference between Seneca Wallace, Matt Hasselbeck. He said that Seneca's ball is going to get on you a lot quicker. He throws a little harder ball. See right here, he steps up to avoid the pressure, but that ball should have been caught by Darrell Jackson.
Brian Flackemeyer on to punt it away, gets the kickoff from the 25. Dante Hall will have a return. He starts from the 11 and go absolutely nowhere with it. Damon Hewitt and the Chiefs offense back to work in the second half.
Well, the thing that the Seattle Seahawks have to correct is giving up big plays. That was their concern coming in. You can see in the first half, they haven't done a good job of it. They've already given up 11 big plays.
Got Chris Wilson in the backfield with Larry Johnson here on 1st and 10 from the 11. They pitch it back to Larry Johnson, again patiently waiting for room, dancing outside, and tackled after a gain of 8 by Julian Peterson. He is such a patient runner.
He is, and that time you see him cut the ball all the way back. He's got good vision and feet, and with these Seattle Seahawks linebackers, they flow so quickly to the play side that they're susceptible to the cutback. That time Larry Johnson brings it all the way back across the field for a big gain.
This is the time of the game that Larry Johnson told us the other day he likes to make his moves. He likes to cut back after looking for contact in the first half of a game. They hand it to him again, good for a first down. With more on Larry Johnson, let's check in with Jay Glazer.
Guys, last night I talked to Julian Peterson, asked for his scouting report on Larry Johnson. He said because he's a long strider, what you've got to do is you've got to watch extra film on this guy and make sure you know where his initial read is. If you could take away his initial read, he's not like a Marshall Faulk or Reggie Bush where he's just going to cut it back and try and squeak in there. And I tell you what, today, he's looking an awful lot like one of those little guys. Back to you.
And he's so strong and powerful, and his speed is deceptive. And until you actually get on the field with the guy and see him run away from you is when you realize how fast he is.
This is Johnson again, breaks a tackle in the backfield and turns nothing into something. Another first down. Larry Johnson today so far has been an absolute handful. 120 all-purpose yards in the first half. A couple of touchdowns, one on the ground, one via the passing game. And Larry Johnson picking up right where he left off here in the second half.
And the one thing you notice, Matt, when you watch some of those big runs is the missed tackles. Seattle they're not running to the ball. They only have one guy trying to bring them down. That's not going to happen very often, and he's running through those tackles.
He gets a powder here from Michael Bennett, who takes the pitch around the right side. And Bennett with some room before being tackled by Julian Peterson. And Michael Bennett, a Pro Bowler back in 2002 and brought on via trade from New Orleans. Not a bad guy to spell someone like Larry Johnson when you want to get him off the field.
Yeah, but, you know, they're just getting Michael Bennett back the last couple games. Funny story, he pulled a hamstring. He missed a couple games. He was racing Brian Waters, the left guard, after practice and pulled a hamstring. He's been out for a while.
Nice hurdle by Bennett. He hurdles his way to another Kansas City first down, a pickup of 8.
The hamstring looks good now, though. He just jumps right over it. He actually ran track at the University of Wisconsin and ran the hurdles. Look at this. Good job just jumping over the pile at the line of scrimmage, staying on his feet right there and getting first down and positive yards.
Chris Wilson in the backfield now with Michael Bennett on 1st and 10. Play fake for Heward and a wide open target. First down reception made by Tony Gonzalez. Kansas City on the move again.
They isolate Julian Peterson on Tony Gonzalez, and they thought that was a good matchup. Peterson, a very active guy that can run, has long arms, but Tony Gonzalez sells him on the outside move right here and then turns back to the middle of the field. Julian Peterson again gets faked out.
Well, Tony Gonzalez a week after a season-high 138 yards in the air, 94 receiving yards this afternoon. Bennett met for a loss in the backfield. Leroy Hill, the second-year man out of Clemson, made the tackle.
Again, Seattle giving up another big play on that pass to Tony Gonzalez, and now he's approaching 100 yards receiving. So the balance again is there for the offense. Almost 100 yards rushing for Larry Johnson, over 100 already, 121, and Tony Gonzalez at 94 receiving. So right now they've got the Seahawks defense on their heels and guessing.
And Gonzalez in motion on 2nd and 10. And to Michael Bennett. First down, Kansas City. The Chiefs are picking apart the Seahawks from the outside, inside out, that is, this afternoon. A lot of success up the middle of the field.
And it's just the little things, too, Matt. Watch the step by Michael Bennett. Watch him step. He's going to come, and right there, he just hops right back around Will Shields and jumps through the hole. The front side is all covered. Just that one little slide step and go, and now he finds a crease.
It's been an 8-play drive. Perfectly mixed between the run and the pass. Larry Johnson between the tackles is inside the 10. But all gets back down to keeping Damon Huard comfortable as well. And if that groin has flared up on him at all since the opening kick, we'd never know it because they've been so successful running the football.
Yeah, they have, and this weather, I think, is great. It's a nice warm day today that helps him keep that groin loose. But here's a situation now. You want to look for Tony Gonzalez. Down in the red zone, they like to find Tony Gonzalez.
Johnson with the carry. A couple of missed tackles. Out of bounds at the 1.5. That's where it's not so generously being marked by the officials.
Again, I was talking about Tony Gonzalez. Look at the block there to seal the corner. Now Larry Johnson is able to jump inside the block by Chris Wilson and then jump back outside and use that speed we talked about and almost get into the end zone. He kicked the pylon. That's not good enough. The ball has to cross the plane of the end zone, and it didn't do it.
Boy, it's a take your pick here on the goal line. Larry Johnson has been outstanding inside the red zone today. JC, you mentioned it. They love to look for Gonzalez in spots like this. And no luck that time as Johnson is stuffed.
And again, like we saw with his first rushing touchdown, he likes to jump over the pile here. And you got a guy that is that powerful. It's tough when he jumps over the top because you don't know if you need to stay on the ground and keep your power base there in case he stays low, or if he goes over the top, now it's too late for you.
Chuck Darby made that hit. That brings up 2nd and goal now. Again, bear in mind Seattle's troubles in the red zone in terms of their touchdown defense. And a good play that time by Kevin Bentley to deny the Chiefs on the run again.
And that's the way you stop that jump over the top, is by penetration. Kevin Bentley does a good job of getting on Kansas City's side of the line of scrimmage. Watch him just show up. Shows up right there, comes under, and then gets up the field. You see him right there fall right into the gap, gets up the field, and gets Larry Johnson before he gets in the air.
3rd and goal now. Wilson and Johnson in the backfield. They'll try with Larry Johnson again, and this time they're across the goal line. Another Kansas City touchdown. A 1-yard TD run. And Larry Johnson is making fantasy football owners across the country very happy people this afternoon.
And again, Seattle not very good in the red zone, giving up another red zone touchdown. But it's so tough when they've got 1st and goal to go. With a guy like Larry Johnson and Tony Gonzalez there, you got to honor and think pass also. And Larry Johnson just continues to pound.
A 13-play, 88-yard drive that chewed up 6.5 minutes of clock. point after is through. And Kansas City adds on. Riding the broad shoulders of Larry Johnson. 158 all-purpose yards and 3 touchdowns for Larry Johnson this afternoon at home. And the latest drive was all Larry Johnson. Josh Scobie on to take the kick back for Seattle with some work to do here in the second half. He starts the return at the 6 and is tackled across the 30-yard line. That's where Seneca Wallace in the offense will go to work with 6:17 left in the third quarter. Lots of offense in Kansas City on this Halloween weekend. Kansas City on top 27-14. Plenty of time left for Seneca Wallace and the Seahawks. The strong Morris backfield, and on 1st and 10, Wallace in the air, and that one's picked off. Patrick Surtain. The first mistake Seneca Wallace has made this afternoon, and it's a costly one.
And he just eyed that receiver down. Didn't look off the safeties or Patrick Surtain at all. Chiefs are just dropping back into coverage. He's going to get good protection so he can throw the ball. But look at him. He's looking right at one guy the entire time, and then Patrick Surtain just plays him. Watch him look at the quarterback now, and just watch him just run right under Darrell Jackson. And that's when you're in zone coverage, that's what you're taught to do. You get to your drop, you read the quarterback, and then you break on the ball. That's exactly what Patrick Surtain did.
Since the start of the 2000 season, his 30th interception, one of the highest totals in the NFL. And the gift for the Kansas City offense that really hasn't needed a whole lot of help today. Michael Bennett gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of a yard and a little fracas after the play.
And again, when you've got a quarterback that is not very experienced, look at his eyes. He's looking at one guy the entire time. Now the entire defense knows he's throwing right to that guy, so you get a jump. So when you're in zone coverage, you're taught to read the quarterback, and that's what Patrick Surtain did. What Seneca Wallace has got to do is try to look some of those guys off, then come back to where he wants to throw the ball.
It's a different story for Seneca Wallace now, trailing here in the second half. He threw a couple of picks last week after coming on for Hasselbeck in the third. Chris Wilson, the H-back, in motion. Nice move by Michael Bennett, showing the skill set this afternoon. Call it a gain of 6.
You know, I talked about how defensive backs read quarterbacks. Well, this defensive backfield of the Chiefs, look at these guys. Look at the number of interceptions they have combined. Look at all the years of experience they have, so they know exactly what they're supposed to do and what they're supposed to read, especially with the young quarterback. That's why they're able to get those jumps.
You know, Seattle's Deion Branch told us yesterday this is a much more troubling assignment for him. Granted, they may be a little older, a step slower, but they're a lot wiser. Larry Johnson between the tackles for a gain of maybe a yard. That'll come up short of a first down.
Kansas City's going for it. Herman Edwards, there's no hesitation. He's waving them to go ahead. And this is an instance where the defense can make a big play for their offense, Seattle being, and get back into this ball game. Here's a chance now to make a big play on 4th down, get the ball back for their offense.
Kansas City came into the day 3 for 5 on 4th down. They came into the day 2 for 4 on 4th down. I would never contend the guys in the truck when it comes to a number like that.
And you know, coming into the game today, all the questions were about Seneca Wallace and the offense. So many changes over there. Nothing about really the defense other than giving up big plays. This defense hasn't shown up today. They haven't played up to their expectations and their capabilities. Here's a chance they have right now on 4th down to step up, make a big play, get the ball back for their offense, and get their team back in the game.
Well, Kansas City has held the football. Certainly time of possession has favored the Chiefs. Best personified by the way the second half has begun.
And you got to stay on sides. Watch the hard count in this situation.
The play fake. And Heward has a first down reception made by Chris Wilson, still on his feet. And finally gang tackled by the entire Seattle defensive backfield led by Ken Hamlin.
And I tell you what, this Kansas City Chiefs offense has so many weapons, and Chris Wilson is one that is developing. They really like him. He's at the fullback position now. Now he's just good. They're going to fake the lead outside, and then he's just going to continue to leak outside. Everybody's playing the run, and he catches the ball. Remember, Chris Wilson is drafted as a tight end, and until 3 weeks ago when Ronnie Cruz, the fullback, got hurt, he played only the tight end position. Now he's at fullback.
Larry Johnson taking people with him inside the 15-yard line. You know, Larry Johnson told us in our meeting with him a couple of days ago that he really likes the idea of Chris Wilson back there with him because defenses have to take him seriously.
And what it does is they can motion Chris Wilson out from the fullback position. Now a linebacker has to motion out with him. That takes a guy out of the box in the run game. That allows Larry Johnson to pound the ball inside.
Kennison and Hall at the top of the screen, with Gonzalez in motion on 2nd and 5. Johnson again looking for a hole and not finding any as Lofa Tatupu snuffed that one out. A loss of 3 on the play.
Well, they finally figured that play out. Kansas City's run that play over and over where they motion the tight end to one side and then they just try to trap block him back to the other side of the field. It's worked very well for Kansas City, but that time Lofa Tatupu got wise to it and was able to jump up the field.
Kansas City has been so productive in the red zone today.
Now Tony Gonzalez. Watch him working on the linebacker inside.
Hall in motion. Bennett in the backfield on 3rd and 7. And a flag. Somebody on the Chiefs line was moving. Got the center, Casey Wigman. Guy who hasn't missed a game since the 2001 season.
Talk about that. He's got guys right next to him also. Will Shields, Brian Waters. Those guys have been together for a long, long time.
3rd and 12 now. Heward steps up in the pocket and has that one batted away. Lofa Tatupu just took this series and said no more. Enough's enough. The pass was intended for Michael Bennett, and that'll bring on Lawrence Tynes in the field goal unit once more.
But that's what they have to have. Somebody that's going to step up and make some plays for them. Did a good job of getting up the field and pressure on Heward. That's what they've got to do. And look inside. Chuck Darby inside. Bryce Fisher falls back, gets pressure on Heward, but that's what they've got to do more of. They've got to get after the quarterback.
This one from 38, a distance in which Tynes has already hit from today. And the snap is muffed. What the Garo Yepremian is going on? Kelly Herndon down the sideline untouched. Exactly the kind of big play that Seattle was looking for.
Huge play, and Kansas City's trying to say that that should be an incompleted forward pass. That Dustin Colquitt was trying to throw the ball, but as you can see down there, the referees are saying no, no, no.
And now that the entire Kansas City staff is encouraging Herm Edwards to throw the challenge flag. Now the fans getting into the act. And there goes the red flag. We'll take a look at this whole thing again.
That's a guy that's not used to being in that situation where they have a muff snap and he just panics. He's trying to push the ball in front of him. You can see he just flips the ball in front of him right there.
They'll go under the hood. It was a big play if it holds up. Well, being challenged here is whether or not there was a pass attempt prior to the touchdown run back, and if in fact the officials rule that that was an attempted pass, an incomplete pass, the touchdown comes back and it's Seattle's ball at the line of scrimmage.
And you can see Colquitt trying to flip the ball to Ke'Aaron Fox, who is an eligible receiver in this instance. The question is that little shot put right there, are they going to consider that a pass, or did he lose the ball prior to? It's a tough call. I mean, right there, it looks like he's actually trying to throw the ball to Ke'Aaron Fox, and it doesn't matter that Fox is not looking for the ball. He's an eligible receiver. But I don't know if that's going to be enough to overturn this call.
And we're not sure what exactly mechanically the officials are going to look at with Dustin Colquitt's arms, and if he actually did make an attempt to flip that ball away.
And either way, Dustin Colquitt has to know better. He panicked in that situation and just tried to throw that ball. You just you just lose the points. Don't take a chance of what happened happening. Now you let a team right back into the game. You got to be smart. You got to be ready in that situation. And when things like that happen, it shows that a guy is not thinking, he's not ready for anything that can happen in that situation. He just panicked.
The ruling on the field stands. Touchdown. He never had possession.
Wow. A controversial call indeed.
And I think what he's saying there is when Colquitt tried to throw the ball, he lost possession before he threw it. That was their ruling on the field, that the ball was coming out before he actually could throw it. You can see, like we said, it's a tough call, but you got to have conclusive evidence to overturn the call that was made on the field. Just too close there.
So score it officially as a 60-yard fumble touchdown return for Kelly Herndon, his first career TD. It looked as though one mistake was going to give Kansas City an opportunity to add to their lead, and we're talking about the Seneca Wallace interception, but an even bigger mistake on the other side brings Seattle right back in the ballgame.
And what they were saying is there wasn't a motion to throw the ball. He just tossed it up in the air, and that doesn't constitute a forward pass.
The Seattle Seahawks on a defensive score has tightened it up to a 6-point game here with 1:27 left in the third.
Again, when they looked at it, and we're getting word from upstairs in the replay booth that he never had made a motion to actually throw the ball. Right here, they deemed that he was just throwing that ball up in the air, so there was no motion there, so that's a live ball. Kelly Herndon's able to pick it up and just run into the end zone. But again, it was just a situation where Colquitt panicked. And now you give Seattle the momentum back. They're back in this ball game, and it looked like at one point, if Kansas City would have went ahead and put some points on the board there, that Seattle was out of this game.
And now he thinks he's Tito Puente. He giving himself his own rim shot there is Kelly Herndon. So Dante Hall will set up to return the kick. We have seen a little bit of everything here this afternoon. Hall at the goal line. Across the 20, up the middle, and finally tackled from behind at the 34-yard line by Kevin Bentley. Tuesday night on Fox, the Emmy Award-winning Kelly Herndon taking it to the house moments ago to bring Seattle to within a score here on the road. 1:20 left in the third quarter. Hewitt keeps it on the ground with Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson on the carry. Tripped up by Grant Westrom. Gain of 2 yards. It's 2nd and 8 from the 36.
Damon Hewitt has had a fantastic afternoon despite the groin problem. Larry Johnson on 28 rushes and 2 catches 30 touches here this afternoon, and Tony Gonzalez close to 100 receiving yards today. On the play fake. Pass is caught by Chris Wilson out of the backfield, breaking a tackle for a Kansas City first down.
And again, another missed tackle by Leroy Hill in Seattle that gives up another first down. But on this play action, watch these linebackers. Everybody's going to run to Tony Gonzalez, and then that allows Chris Wilson just to leak into the flat. Look at everybody just run and turn and drop deep to cover Tony Gonzalez, and now they drop the ball off to Chris Wilson. Leroy Hill misses the tackle, and it's a first down.
Time ticking away on the third quarter. The Chiefs on the move once again, with Seattle having tightened things up here in the third. Our score at the end of 3, Chiefs 27, Seattle 21. Fox NFL Sunday returns after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Fourth quarter underway at Arrowhead Stadium, in a good one. Kansas City hanging on to a 27-21 Halloween weekend lead. It's boy, one of the old AFL guys are here today.
That's how they look about now, too, huh? Back with those face masks they played with.
Here's Larry Johnson with the delay. And near midfield. After the missed challenge, we check in with Jay Glazer, who has some additional information. Jay.
Matt, I just got off the phone with Mike Pereira, who's the NFL's head of officiating, and he said the only way the officials could have overturned that call is if there was clear and concise pictures that not only did he have control of the ball, but that his arm was clearly moving forward. And Pereira said that clearly was not the case. Back to you guys.
Jay, thanks. Yeah, we hear that a lot. Undisputable video evidence. It was not there on the challenge. The pass is caught by Chris Wilson. Got a flag on the play as well.
And it seems like this Seattle defense has got new life.
Number 65, offense, 5-yard penalty remains, second down.
Fourth-year tackle Jordan Black guilty of the hold.
And he's saying no, but do they ever say yes? yeah, I was holding the guy. They never do. And Jordan Black is going to be up there, number 65. Right there, he's got it can't get any clearer than that.
You talk about undisputable video evidence.
Yeah.
That, that holds up in a court of law right there.
And that's Darryl Tapp just running around him. He just has a chokehold on Darryl Tapp.
So 2nd and 19 now for Kansas City. As Jay Glazer continues to regale us as to who he's got on his speed dial.
Tony Gonzalez split in the slot.
The delayed draw as Larry Johnson maybe gets 5 more of those yards, 5 of them back, that is.
And now it's 3rd and long, and now Seattle's defense, they can sit back in zones and then keep the ball in front of them, come up and make the tackle and get off the field. And it seems like they're playing a little faster now. At one point in time, it looked like they were just walking around kind of with their heads down. And that touchdown by Kelly Herndon put some life into them.
3rd and 14 to be exact.
They're bringing pressure.
And Heward fumbles the snap. He wisely eats it. It was a low snap, and that's going to bring on the punting unit for Kansas City.
The shotgun formation, that's something that they don't do a lot of. You can see the snap is just a little to his left, and looked like maybe he couldn't move that way with that sore groin. It didn't look like the snap was that far off. He just mishandled it.
Jimmy Williams, the return man for Seattle, and Dustin Folkwood will try to get it right this time. The punt is away. Williams at the 15. Brings the return back before being tackled at the 23, and a fracas away from the play as Greg Wesley and Josh Scobie are going at it upfield.
And actually, Kansas City's lucky they don't get penalized there. Greg Wesley wasn't even on the field. Man, I know you're a big Halloween guy. you dressing up this year?
Oh boy, not like that, I'll tell you. First and 10, Seattle. Wallace rolling right and has his pass caught by DJ Hackett. The current number 24, Ty Law, made the stop for KC.
Yeah, and they've got to be careful with that throw. They're going to roll Wallace out and throw the ball, but with Kansas City playing cover 2, Ty Law is sitting right there in the flat waiting for that ball.
A gain of 3 on the reception by Hackett. 7 and 7 now. Nickel package on the field for Kansas City, and they snuff out the run. Maurice Morris dropped for a loss behind the line of scrimmage. Big Ron Edwards making the hit for Kansas City, and it's appropriate to point out that Seattle has changed that left guard spot out again as Chris Spencer re-enters the game here in the 4th.
Rob Sims had done a pretty good job in there at that left guard. They get Spencer in there, and he just whiffs on his block there. Also, Walter Jones missed Jared Allen on the outside, and now you're in 3rd and long. Look at all the blitzing guys, and now they're going to drop out and come, bringing the pressure.
Play clock winding down. Wallace just gets it off. He missed 1 tackle, but steps right into the waiting arms of Derek Johnson.
And that was a busted play all the way. It looks like he wants to hand the ball off to Max Strong. But look at all the movement by the Chiefs on defense, and Seneca Wallace has to call a play, and then he tries to change it again, and now they bring the pressure. It looked like he wanted to hand the ball off to Max Strong. Mac was thinking pass, and now Seneca Wallace just has to pull the ball down. But a lot of confusion created by the movement of the Chiefs defense. Gunther Cunningham, you can see right there, the defensive coordinator. He likes to blitz. He likes to bring pressure from a lot of different angles. And with this crowd back in the game, they're going to do that a lot more.
Would you believe that was the first 3 and out of the afternoon? Dante Hall at the 27-yard line. Trying to turn the corner and forced out at the 35. The mood intensifying at Arrowhead. Gag in there someplace. Right out of History of the World Part 1. The Chiefs with the ball at their 35-yard line. Damon Ewert doing a masterful job directing the offense this afternoon. They keep it on the ground for Larry Johnson on 1st down. It certainly made his job easier, the fact that he has been able to go to Larry Johnson through the air, on the ground. 34 touches for Larry Johnson here this afternoon.
And remember when we sat down and talked to Herman Edwards, he said when we have a lead in the 4th quarter, we want to run the ball. We want to pound the ball, keep the clock moving. We don't want to throw the ball all over the field, get 3 and outs, and get our defense in bad situations.
Chris Wilson in the backfield with Johnson here. Ewert on the move, and he has a target. Tony Gonzalez with a 1st down catch. Great work after the reception to ensure the 1st down before being taken out by Lofa Tatupu.
And how about the one-legged Damon Hewitt? Looks like both of them are feeling pretty good now. He's got it warmed up, steps up, he buys some time, he moves around in the pocket, avoids the rush. Right there, and look at him, just buy some time. He's going to move around, get away from the rush, then throw the ball and finds Tony Gonzalez down the field working against Kelly Herndon. They've got a corner on him, zone coverage, and Tony just comes back to the quarterback and gives him a target.
Larry Johnson again, who is approaching a career carries high this afternoon. Boy, I am quite sure that this is the first time the state of Washington has ever actively rooted against Damon Ewert. He has really been outstanding today at the Seahawks' expense.
He's been very efficient. No interceptions, and that's what he has to do, and that's what they told him when he took over for Trent Green is, you don't have to win games for us, just don't lose them for us. And he's been able to do that by not throwing interceptions, and he only has 1 the whole time he's played.
Quick slant is caught for a 1st down. Sammy Parker with more action after the catch. A gain of 12. Hewitt wants that communication one more time. A grip on the side of the helmet there, the ear holes, has nothing to do with what would appear to be a migraine headache. Those are the trappings of successful communication this afternoon. Gonzalez in motion on first down. Bennett, the ball carrier, dancing around the left side. Let's check in with Jay Glazer.
Hey guys, what's even more amazing about Damon Hewitt's performance today is that yesterday when I talked to Herm Edwards, and then even again last night, he said, you know what, I just don't think he's going to go. I think he's in too much pain. Right now, I'm kind of in my own head putting it in that we're going to have to end up going with the rookie. Talked to Trent Green yesterday and Damon yesterday also. Both those guys also thought that Coyle was going to end up being the guy. Well, today he comes out there, again, takes an injection before the game. Even in pregame warm-ups, was really struggling, said, hey, it's just something I'm just going to have to deal with the pain. Pain management, well, he's managing pretty well today, guys.
On 2nd and 5, thanks Jay Larry Johnson again. And to Jay's point, if you watched him yesterday, speaking of Damon Hewitt, you know, this did not look like a guy who was 100% comfortable yesterday. And as gingerly as he moved around yesterday, today before the game, it was even worse looking.
It was. It didn't look good at all, and we didn't think that he was going to be able to go. And you can see the frustration there, but once you get closer to game time and you get that adrenaline going, as well as the injection that Jay said he took, you know, to mask some of that pain, you know, obviously he's been able to tolerate it. He's done a great job.
On 3rd and 2, Seattle will spend a timeout here with 7:15 left in the quarter. We'll duck away as Kansas City is on the move once again. Thanks to the Beast here in Kansas City for allowing our camera crews in the doors. A little swing pass is dropped by Larry Johnson. That's the first thing that's gone wrong for them all day.
I didn't hear a whistle.
It has been whistled dead.
Has it? Kansas City's acting like it, and Seattle's not, but the crowd was so loud down there, no one really could hear it.
So Seattle holds on a big 3rd down play, much to the chagrin of Damon Hewitt, who is steamed.
And watch it. This is just a drop by Larry Johnson. This play is set up perfectly. Set up the screen. You can see the lineman getting out of there, and Larry Johnson just drops the ball, and he's got a lot of room to run in front of him. See Will Shields out there. Casey Wigman is out there in front of him. He just takes his eyes off of the ball too quickly, wanting to take off. And now remember, the last field goal attempt by Kansas City led to the touchdown for Seattle. So you got to think that Dustin Colquitt here is a little nervous.
This will be from 50 yards out. Again, Lawrence Tynes hit a game winner from 53 against San Diego last weekend. And this will make it, most importantly, a 2-possession game. Tynes from 50, clean snap and hold, and Tynes just pushed it to the right. No good. Still a 1-possession game for Seattle.
No limit. I like that.
Boy, and still no limit to what this scoreboard may read here at Arrowhead Stadium with plenty of time left. Better than 7 minutes of football remaining in regulation. And just 6 points between the visiting Seahawks and homestanding Chiefs. Wallace out of the gun on 1st and 10 with a pocket. And the pass bounces incomplete. Threw it into coverage, tried to get it to Deion Branch.
Again, a little behind Deion Branch, but a very catchable ball. We've seen some drops by the Seahawks today, and that's been a problem for them all season as well. There's too many dropped balls this year.
And that has been the first Seattle drop of this afternoon, so it's a problem that would appear has been corrected for the time being. 2nd and 10, and this boisterous Arrowhead crowd growing noisier on the defensive side. Should have been intercepted. Ty Law had a gift right at the 1st down marker. That's the first drop ball by a Kansas City Chief wearing number 24 in 50 years.
And I don't know if this ball was tipped, but it was tough for Seneca Wallace. Look at all the red jerseys. Looked like Jared Allen may have gotten his hands on that ball and tipped it out to Ty Law, but Ty just playing zone coverage. Look at that, just sitting all over the slants. Just dropped the sure interception, which would have turned into a touchdown. Watch the blitz coming.
Two fullbacks in the backfield looking for that blitz for Seattle. Wallace on the move. He gets away from one tackler, and now he's off to the races and is hit out of bounds shy of a first down.
But there's a flag down, Matt. And that's going to be holding on Kansas City. That's going to give Seattle the first down.
Holding, number 23, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Well, you called it. Patrick Surtain is charged with the hold, and that's a shame because Tom Bahali, among others, had a lot of pressure on Seneca Wallace there.
But that's the thing, Matt, when you bring that much pressure, you have to play man coverage in the back end. Right there is Patrick Surtain, and as they get down the field, you see he's got that jersey. He's pushing on DJ Hackett. That's, you see the flag coming out back there. You only have 5 yards, then you got to get your hands off those guys.
Boy, what was a great defensive stand negated due to penalty. So just past midfield now on 1st and 10. Wallace with the pump fake, and he throws a wobbler to a wide open Darrell Jackson. Touchdown Seattle. Darrell Jackson was so wide open, he was standing there for what seemed like minutes before he got the football.
And Ty Law fell down on that pump fake by Seneca Wallace. Ty Law was guessing, and he fell down on the double move. Ty Law was a guy, when we talked to the Seahawks, if they could get man-to-man coverage, they felt like they could go after Ty Law. He's at his best when they're playing zone coverage, not in man-to-man.
To take the lead. Brown's PAT is good. Seattle has come all the way back to lead with 6:30 left in regulation.
And in order to run these types of plays, you have to have protection because they take a long time to develop. See, Kansas City only rushes 4 guys. There's the pump fake. Nobody in the face of Seneca Wallace. This pump fake right here is going to hold Ty Law. He falls down. Now Darrell Jackson, and it's not a well-thrown ball. He just has to wait for it. Look up here. Watch Ty Law. That pump move right there, he just loses his footing. And now it's just like a pump. Darrell Jackson just the ball, and it's an easy score.
4 plays, 60 yards in 37 seconds. Seattle has come back from a 13-point deficit to stake themselves to a 28-27 lead. And we repeat the same thing we said at the start of that possession. There's a lot of time left.
Yeah, there is. But, Matt, like I was telling you during the break, it just felt like the momentum had changed. Kansas City with the muffed field goal that led to a touchdown. Offensively, they couldn't get anything going. They missed the field goal, and they just let Seattle hang around. And I told you, one big play, and they take the lead, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that 60-yard return on the missed field goal certainly swung the momentum. That's to be certain as Dante Hall takes the kick from the end zone. And shy of the 20-yard line is where Kansas City's offense will take over once again. Join us on Fox. The pregame show, guys, will be on our nation's capital a week from today. The Cowboys invade and take on the Redskins. And again, all the pregame fun will start from Washington a week from today. Some of you will get Minnesota at San Francisco at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific. Great NFL action next week here on Fox.
And you talk about a rivalry. That Dallas-Washington rivalry goes way, way back. I remember the names from that. Clint Longley came in, was a hero one year, way, way back during the 70s, I believe.
Clint Longley, look at you going real old school on us here. On the play fake. Heward's pass is caught by Eddie Kennison for a Kansas City first down. By my unofficial count, and I'm sure our crack crew is going to jump on me if I'm wrong, 1 3 and out in this game. I mean, this has been an old-time shootout, you know, the likes of which we used to see here when Seattle played in the AFC West back in the day. I mean, it has just been off to the races since the opening kick here.
It has, and, you know, no defense really. You know, somebody's got to step up defensively and make some plays and get their offense the ball back. Seattle right now looks like they're the ones that are stepping up defensively, and I mentioned it early in the second half that seemed like they've gotten a little more life to them. And I don't know what adjustments or what was said to them at halftime, but they played much better this second half.
Larry Johnson carried for a yard, so 2nd and 9 now. And for Larry Johnson, that was his 35th carry of the afternoon. One more, and he will tie a career high. He's the lone back behind Heward here on 2nd and 9. Heward's pass is caught by Tony Gonzalez for another Chiefs first down. Lofa Tatupu made the tackle for Seattle, and Tony Gonzalez well up over 100 receiving yards this afternoon.
And watch the motion by Dante Hall. He's going to come and make the linebacker jump out, and that opens up for Tony Gonzalez to work on his linebacker. Now look, that linebacker is not there in that curl area anymore, so Tony Gonzalez can run away from Lofa Tatupu.
A 2 tight end set now on the field for Kansas City on 1st and 10. And Larry Johnson's 36th carry of the afternoon results in a loss. You know, you talked earlier, JC, about the pace that Larry Johnson is on in terms of total touches. 36 carries this afternoon. He's caught 2 balls out of the backfield. The way this is going, he's going to have the rock a whole lot this year.
He is, and you got to be conscious of that because you don't want to get the guy injured. And the more touches you have throughout the season, you can see he's projected to have 443 touches. The NFL record is 492. That is a lot of touches, even though he's a young guy and he's very strong. Can't take that many hits in this league.
2nd and 11. Heward up top, the big ball. He's got a wide open receiver, Eddie Kennison. A fantastic diving grab by Kennison gets the Chiefs inside the 10.
Great grab by Eddie Kennison. We saw Ty Law get beat on the double move. Well, this was a double move again. Marcus Trufant. Here's Eddie Kennison. He's going to come up and give him a double move. Watch him right there. He sells that out. Trufant has his head looking back at the quarterback. And just a great catch by Eddie Kennison. And again, I told you these plays take time. Watch Damon Heward right at the end gets hit by Chuck Darby, but stands in there.
The hand to Larry Johnson, maybe a yard. At some point in this game, somebody's going to have to come up with a stop because it's looking like whoever has the ball last.
And again, you got to give the guy time on these double moves down the field, and Damon Heward hangs in there, and then Trufant just bites on that out move, and great catch by Eddie Kennison, just running all the way until the last second before he extends his arms to catch that football.
51 of Kennison's game-high 132 yards in the air on that play. Larry Johnson making hay here inside the 5. Clock rolling with 2:50 left and ticking here in regulation.
And now here's where you continue to run the football because you're only down by 1. A field goal gives you the lead, but you want to run the time off the clock. That's what Kansas City wants to do here, is continue to run the time off the clock and not leave very much for Seattle.
Third and goal. Johnson with a convoy. And a Kansas City touchdown. The 4th score of the afternoon for Larry Johnson. You give him a game ball, give him a game helmet, Give him a game goalpost.
And you give him the week off from practice because he's going to be one sore guy, and you're going to need him again next week. So you got to take care of your workhorse, and he's done it all today for him.
His third rushing touchdown, and that ties a career high. Kansas City lining up for the two-point try. Heward with plenty of time. He has a receiver, and the two-point conversion is good. Tony Gonzalez.
And that was huge because now it's a 7-point game. If they kick the extra point, it's a 6-point game. If Seattle goes down and scores, they kick the extra point, they win. Now it's a 7-point game again.
Boy, Michael Bennett made that play happen with a great block to make that pass happen as Larry Johnson receives a well-deserved seat.
But watch at the end of this play, Larry Johnson, watch him lower his shoulder. Right there, just lowers his shoulder and just runs right through Kelly Herndon. Those little defensive backs at the fourth quarter, they don't want to tackle. Look at him. He runs up in there. Looks like he has him stopped, but he doesn't wrap up. Larry Johnson just runs right through him. Watch Kelly Herndon not wrap up. You're not going to get Larry Johnson down like that.
39 carries, 152 yards. The big 51-yard pass play by Eddie Kennison. What a magnificent drive authored by the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, suddenly they're not talking about this old offensive line and where's Willie Rope.
Well, what's happened is they've allowed their offensive tackles, Jordan Black, Kevin Sampson, to be in there for a number of weeks now, get settled. They're not rotating guys in and out of there. Those guys are playing much, much better, and they've also opened up this offense. Mike Solari's calling better plays. Damon Heward is able to throw the ball down the field, so now this offense puts a lot of pressure on defenses.
Josh Scobie starts the kick from around the 10. And he's tripped up past the 25. We remind you to stay with us right after football here from Arrowhead for the AT&T postgame show. Get a first look at the newly shaken BCS standings after the upset loss by USC yesterday. Among the changes, I'm sure, as we take a look at the new BCS standings for the first time on the AT&T postgame show coming up right after football here. There's still a little matter of a shootout to be determined in Kansas City. Seneca Wallace has had a fine afternoon. 3 touchdown passes in his first NFL start. That pump fake worked last possession. Not so much here as he overthrows Deion Branch.
And again, they're just trying to work that double move on Ty Law, but now they're in zone coverage. So Greg Wesley's coming over the top. He's going to play that double move. You see him just waiting right there for it. Ty Law can jump the slant because now he knows that he has help deep.
This will be the last play before the 2-minute warning. Nickel package on the field for Kansas City on 2nd and 10. Wallace has the pass, batted away, and it's caught by Jared Allen. And that's how we get to the 2-minute warning. Kansas City football.
To that last interception, Kansas City runs a game up front. They run the tackle in stunt. Tamba Ali and Jared Allen are going to come inside those tackles. Tamba Ali, he just runs a spin move and he deflects the ball.
Seattle has challenged the ruling on the field.
And this is what they
believe the receiver, the ball was stripped from the
was the ball
defender.
taken away. Deion Branch came back and took that ball away from Jared Allen. And when you watch it from this angle, it's tough to see. But Jared Allen's got to just get down. Get down and the game is over. Don't try to run and score. Deion Branch comes and takes that ball away from him. And he is actually I think, inbounds. And when we look at it from the other angle, you see he's going to strip him right there. Now Deion's got the ball. He's got the ball in his left hand, and both feet are on the ground.
Yeah, but I don't know that Jared Allen isn't already out of bounds. This will give us a really good look at his feet.
Jared doesn't have the ball right there.
Wow.
Deion Branch has the ball in his left hand.
Well, and again, Mike Holmgren has the ability to challenge this, as that was the final play prior to the 2-minute warning. The 2-minute warning had not been called, meaning that each coach could still challenge on the field. It did not have to come from upstairs. Now this is the game here, clearly.
Right there, the ball, Deion Branch has this ball now, and he's transferring it to his left hand. You can see Jared Allen has Deion Branch's right arm. The ball is already in Branch's left hand by that point.
You know what the beauty of this is, JC?
What?
We can disagree. And I don't know that Deion Branch clearly took possession away from Jared Allen. But, you know, here's the question. What's a little wideout doing taking the ball away from that big fella?
No, the bigger question is, why is that big fella running with the ball? Fall down, and the game is over. Don't try to score with the ball. That's not what you do. You can see from the 22, again, the ball is tipped. Allen's going to get it. Fall down, and the game is over. But watch right here. He's going to run with the ball, and Deion Branch comes right behind him. You can see Deion has both feet down. Now, of course, there's got to be conclusive evidence that he has that football. But I can tell you what, Jared Allen doesn't have it. Jared Allen has Deion's. Here's the football right there. That's where the ball is, in Branch's left hand, and he is clearly in bounds. That's Seattle football. Branch has the ball.
Well, the officials taking more than the requisite 60 seconds to look at this one, because obviously the game hangs in the balance in this call.
And for Kansas City, you got to think, when you look back on the entire game, Dustin Colquitt not used to having the ball, he panics. Jared Allen not used to having the ball, and he does the wrong thing there also. Here again, one more look. The ball is stripped, and that ball is gone by now. That ball, as you can see right here, is in control by Deion Branch, and he is clearly in bounds with both feet.
I don't know that, boy, I'm telling you, that they don't pay the officials enough to make the right call on this one, because this is a tough one to call.
But again,
man,
in that situation, coaches always tell you, got to be aware of where you're at in the game, the time, everything. You've got to be aware of what's going on in the game.
Possession.
And if Jared Allen was aware, he would know, just fall down.
Yeah.
I've got the interception. It's our ball. Just fall down. Yeah. Our offense comes on the field. Game over.
It's Jared Allen. It's not Marcus Allen.
Exactly. You don't run with the ball. You make tackles. So when you do get the ball, just get down.
You know, possession is a very subjective issue when it comes down to calls like this, whether or not somebody's out of bounds, and if the ball's between two players.
Well, but you see that, look who's walking on the field, all of the defensive players. So evidently they think that that it's Seattle ball as well. You can see look at all the defensive players out there. It's Kawika Mitchell. There's Jared Allen right there. Ron Edwards, Derek Johnson, all those guys are out there on the field. So obviously they think that they're going to be out there. What about the hustle by Deion Branch? Veteran guy who doesn't just give up on the play. They turn the ball over and he doesn't give up. He just keeps after it.
Damon Heward has been steamed ever since that third down swing pass was dropped by Larry Johnson.
And remember, they only have 60 seconds, and if they take longer.
After reviewing the play, number 83 for Seattle took the ball away from the defender at 2 feet in bounds. First down, Seattle.
Well, Matt,
that's why you're the big-time analyst, my friend.
I think you owe me an apology,
I
man.
owe you an apology indeed. You had that one sussed out from the get-go. Indeed, Deion Branch straight stripped the ball away from Jared Allen. And the Seahawks are still alive with 1:58 left in regulation.
And again, Kansas City just keeps giving Seattle opportunities, giving him chances to stay in this ball game. And you got to feel that, oh, another big play by Seattle, they could very easily win this ball game.
So it's Seattle football. 1st and 10 from the 24. The nickel package on the field for Kansas City. Wallace rolling. Kavika Mitchell coming up on him, and he gets out of bounds after a gain of a handful of yards. We welcome those of you just joining us. It has been an old-time shootout at Arrowhead Stadium this afternoon. Seattle at one point down 13 on a couple of miscues, came back. That pass is complete as they get it out to Josh Perry, the fullback. This has been the story of a couple of young quarterbacks. Seneca Wallace making his first ever NFL start. He's been fantastic. 12 for 26, 3 touchdown strikes, 169 yards. Damon Heward on the other side, despite a bad groin, has been brilliant, throwing for over 300 yards this afternoon.
It's been the Larry Johnson show also, rushing 152 yards, but now it's all about the Kansas City defense.
On 1st and 10, Wallace has a first down reception made by Nate Burleson.
Seneca Wallace has really shown today that he can throw the football. Mike Holmgren said he's got a fantastic arm. He knows this offense. He's done a great job. Now if he can manage this 2-minute situation.
1st and 10, the quick offense. And Wallace has the pass dropped by Max Strong. 2nd and 10 with 1:18 left, and if you're just tuning us in, you missed the key play of the afternoon. After a ball was batted in the air, Jared Allen came down with what looked like an interception, but Deion Branch snuck in, stripped the ball from him, and after a challenge, it was ruled that Branch took the ball away while in bounds, and that's why Seattle still has the ball and is still moving toward the end zone. 2nd and 10, Wallace out of the gun, and that one's batted down at the line of scrimmage. Tom Bahali was there.
Jared Allen.
Jimmy Wilkerson and Jared Allen.
And what Kansas City's doing, they're only rushing 4 guys, but they're twisting up front. They're running that TE stunt where the ends are coming under the tackles and getting up in the face of Seneca Wallace. And we've seen some balls batted down. Seneca Wallace, a guy that's only 5'10", 5'11", so they want to get those tall defensive ends in his face, knock some balls down.
The Seahawks are 4 of 9 on 3rd down this afternoon. This is 3rd and 10. Here comes the blitz, and there goes Wallace. Derek Johnson got through the gap untouched.
Perfectly timed blitz by Derek Johnson. Just going to come walk up late. He's going to walk up late into that A gap, and Max Strong is not quick enough to get up there. And Derek Johnson makes the sack. Watch him come right there, that B gap. Max Strong misses him. Derek Johnson just wraps up Seneca Wallace. Strong has got to anticipate and see, keep his eyes up, see those linebackers coming, and be able to step up in there.
The first Kansas City sack of the afternoon, and it certainly comes at a great time for Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator. It's a loss of 5 on the play, and Kansas City has now spent its final timeout.
And that's Gunther Cunningham's MO. When things get tough, he's going to try to bring some pressure in. You don't want to let a guy just sit back in the pocket, get comfortable, and nickel and dime you down the field, and that's exactly what had been happening. So now Gunther Cunningham, he changes it up. He's going to bring Derek Johnson. He's going to bring those linebackers, That time Max Strong wasn't quick enough to pick it up. They get a big sack on Seneca Wallace.
Well, a big sack of Seneca Wallace, really one of a number of things we'll remember when we look at this one tomorrow morning, because we've seen big offense all afternoon. We've seen challenges denied. We've seen plays that we thought were solid overturned. Huge individual performances by the quarterbacks and a running back.
And now it's 4th and 15. They have to throw the ball down the field.
Wallace with time.
Can't throw it there, not on 4th down.
He swung it out to the sideline for Max Strong. Stopped well shy of a first down. Kansas City takes over on downs, and that's going to do it from Arrowhead Stadium.
You can't throw the ball there on 4th and 15 to your fullback. Max Strong is a big, strong guy, but he's not going to make guys miss. He's not going to get up the field and get enough yards for you. You've got to give your wide receivers a chance to make a play for you. Throw the ball down the field. And that is a learning experience for Seneca Wallace.
The Kansas City Chiefs, again, proving difficulty for the Seattle Seahawks here at Arrowhead. A couple of knees away from handing the Seahawks another loss in this facility. We remind you to stay with us here as soon as play-by-play is over with the AT&T postgame show. Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy have scores and highlights throughout the league, and it'll be the first look at the new BCS standings after all the shuffling around in college football yesterday. The Kansas City Chiefs looking to go over 500 for the first time this year. Damon Heward with a brilliant afternoon, his first career 300-yard passing game, as Kansas City will hang on to win it by a touchdown. Kansas City winners at home over the Seahawks. We'll be back right after this.